Hello guys, this is Miss Grenade, and today's lesson is one you're going to use every day if you ever own your own business, or even if you don't, this lesson still affects you because it involves purchasing things. And who doesn't like to buy stuff? Some of the vocabulary is markdown, markup, profit, retail, and wholesale. Pause and try to fill in the blanks before I give you the answers by using the definitions below. Okay, the first one, a price a store pays for the items that they purchase to sell is called wholesale. You've probably heard that word before, but maybe you didn't know what it is. That's how much the store buys their stuff for, that they're going to sell to you. And then the percent of the wholesale price that they increase before selling the items is called the markup. If they sold it for the same thing they bought it for, they wouldn't make any money. Which brings us to the next word, which is profit. Profit is the amount the store makes after the markup is applied. The retail price is what we pay in the store. Now sometimes the store puts on a sale, and that's when we like to go shopping so we can get our stuff for less. And that's called the markdown. That's the percent of the selling price they will deduct or subtract to put the items on sale. And a lot of times it'll say 30% off or 50% off. That's called the markdown. Okay, the first example is markup. So we're going to do a couple of examples here. Payless Shoes purchases boots from a supplier at wholesale cost for $60. And then they mark up the cost by 80% before selling them, before pricing them to sell. What is the retail selling price? So if I own Payless and I go buy some boots for $60 at wholesale price, I've got to find out what 80% of $60 is. Remember that of means times. We've talked about that. And so we're going to multiply in this situation. Remember, to multiply by a percent, you first change it to a decimal using the DP method. So we're going to look at 80% because that's the markup. And how would we change that to a decimal? Well, we're going to put our pencil at the end of it because 80%, the whole number 80, has a decimal at the end. And since we're going from percent to decimal, it's going to go twice to the left. So once, twice, and that makes our decimal 0.80, or we could just put 0.8. It's the same thing. So when we solve this, we're going to do $60 is our wholesale price times 0.8, because remember 0.8 and 0.80 mean the same thing. 8 tenths is the same thing as 80 hundredths. And then we're going to multiply that. 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 6 is 48. So wow, they're going to sell them for $480? No. We've got one decimal place to put in here. So that means that they're going to mark it up by $48. Next, we're going to find the wholesale cost and the markup amount. Does sum mean add, subtract, multiply, or divide? I hope you know that means add. So the wholesale price, remember, right back up here, is $60. The markup amount that we found here is $48. And so since sum means add, we have to add those two together. And then the retail price for us, when we go to the store to buy those boots, is $108. Pause and go back over that if you need to. Now, what is the store's profit? How much money did they make on those boots that they sold to you for $108? Well, if we bought it for $108 and they purchased it for wholesale for $60. We're just going to subtract that away because that $60 isn't profit. They had to spend that. So we're going to borrow here, borrow and say 8 minus 0 is 8 and 10 minus 6 is 4. Well, guess what that amount is? It's the markup. So whatever they mark up, that is the profit for the store for each pair of boots that you buy. Okay, your turn. Rick buys remote control cars to resell. He applies a markup of 15%. If he buys a car for $28, what is his selling price after the markup? So remember, we have to change 15% to a decimal. Put your pencil at the end of the 15 and go twice to the left, making it 15 hundredths or 0.15. Put me on pause and multiply 28 times 15 hundredths. When you finish that, you should have gotten 420. Now, believe it or not, if you're not careful, you might tell me that $420 is the markup. I'm not sure anybody would buy that if they marked it up $420. That's not a reasonable answer because you have to put your decimal in there. So our markup is $4.20. So step 2 is going to be to add the $4.20 to the original price, which was $28, and that's going to give us the selling price of $32.20. So Rick bought it for $28. He marked it up by $4.20, and he's going to sell it for $32.20. So the amount of money he made was $4.20. Okay, turn over on the back. And now we're going to do examples of markdown, which is what we call sale price, and that's what we really like. Because after all, who wants to buy something for the whole price if you can get it on sale? Okay, for Columbus Day sale, which is coming up, Payless Shoe Stores decides to have a store-wide sale with 25% off of all shoes and boots. What is the sale price of the boots in example 1 after the markdown? So the first thing we're going to do is find 25% of $108. Remember, of means times. So we're going to do $108, which is the retail price, what we pay in the store, times 20.25, because we're going to change that percent to a decimal. Go ahead and multiply that out. And when you get finished with that, you should come up with 2700. Does that mean that they're going to mark it down $2,700? Because I've had kids tell me stuff like that before. That's not a reasonable answer. So remember that you have to put your decimal in. 2 decimal places here, 2 here. That means that the amount of the markdown is $27. So our next step is to deduct, and remember that means subtract, the amount of the markdown from the original store price. The original retail price. So remember, the original retail was $108. The amount of the markdown, which we just found, is $27. And so the sale price, 8 minus 7 is 1, 10 minus 2 is 8. So the sale price is $81. Instead of paying $108, we get to pay $81 because we waited till they went on sale. Will Payless still make a profit on the boots? Well, let's stop and think about what they paid for those boots originally. What was their wholesale cost? Turn back over on the front to see what their wholesale price was. It was $60 was their wholesale. and they sold the boots, even on sale, they sold the boots for $81. So are they going to have a profit still? Yes, 1 minus 0 is 1, 8 minus 6 is 2, and so they still have, yes, they're going to make a profit. They're still going to make $21 on each pair of boots, even when they're on sale. Okay, your turn. And I'm going to go ahead and show you the problem, I guess, because I just did. There's a sale at Half Price Books where they've marked everything down 35%. You find a paperback book marked for $3.77. How much will it be after the markdown is applied? Hint, you'll have to round the markdown amount to the nearest cent, which is the hundredths place. In other words, you're going to have too many decimal places, so you've got to round to the nearest cent. So put it on pause and do $3.77 times, and what's the decimal for 35%? That's right, you're going to move it twice to the left, so it'll be times 0.35. When you get finished multiplying that, I'm going to show you all the lines so you can check and see if you got it right. You get 13195. Now let me erase this point here for a second, this decimal, because what you're probably going to want to do, because these line up, you're probably going to want to bring that down and say $131.95. Really? Are they going to mark down a $3.77 book for $131? That's not a reasonable answer. You have to look back and make sure your answer is reasonable. Look up here. There are 4 decimal places in this problem. So we have to put 4 decimal places in the answer, which makes it $1.31 is the money part. And then in order to round it to the nearest cent, we have to look at that next place. Does that 9 tell you to round this up to $1.32 or leave it at $1.31? Remember, anything 5 and higher, you round up, 4 and lower, you leave the same. So that's going to round this up to $1.32. So that's the dollar discount. It's 35% off. This is how much money it is off. So step 2 then is going to be to find the sale price. So we're going to go back up. Look at the top of the page. It gives you the rules for finding that. We're going to go back up and write the original price, $3.77. And we're going to deduct or subtract the markdown, which is $1.32. So our final price, instead of paying $3.77 for that book with 35% off, it's going to be $2.45. You're always asking how we're going to use this math stuff in real life. Well, this is definitely real life because you always like to go buy stuff. Be sure you do the Google Doc and hit submit. See you guys tomorrow.